like the history books are not being written, they're being written on a daily basis. When I know the two professionals sit here and talk about different numbers, and they are taking, a lot of the banks are taking loan officers and trying to make them workout officers, and a lot of people don't even know what's happening out there right now. So it's tremendous opportunity. We're lucky to have our next speaker right now because he said that the judge said that he could leave bankruptcy court. He had to go to bankruptcy court. He's spending a lot of time. His firm has expanded, Yesner and Boss has expanded to 7 attorneys, 8 attorneys now that are on staff. They're doing a lot of workouts. They're doing a lot of commercial short sales. They're doing a lot in bankruptcies. They have an office in Tampa now. They have one in Sarasota, and they have their main office in St. Petersburg. Chris Boss is going to come up here, and I think he's going to do a Q&A to start off with today. So,
well, for the most part, thank you. Sorry I was late today. Bankruptcy court and real estate are kind of the same. One of the same. I handed out some PowerPoints, but I don't know where they are.
Oh, they're in the back.
oh, okay. Yeah, I'll pass them out.
That's okay. Bankruptcy and real estate are really kind of one and the same right now. So a lot of real estate attorneys are getting crash courses in bankruptcy, whether they like it or not. They don't have a choice. A lot of what we've heard so far is as a firm, we represent banks. We also represent a lot of borrowers. Everything that I've heard so far today is dead on. I mean, I think that the banks are a little bit nervous. I can say that when I'm with the bank's senior committee, and I should probably preface that by saying that a lot of which that goes on in terms of what do we do with the property. And what do we do with it? We've got a property, it's an industrial property, it's a landlord, it's a commercial strip, whatever it is, you start off by saying, well, what is it? So is it negative cash flowing? Is it, and then you say, well, and then who do we have on the hook? Because a lot of these loans are recourse loans. Some of them aren't, but as you heard from Dell, you've got to be really substantial to the point of really maybe even privately traded or some sizable multi-state corporation to where you will be excluded from having some form of officer personally guaranteed paper. And so a lot of what the bank decides is to say, well, who are our borrowers? So if we have 4 borrowers that have filed bankruptcy and there's nobody left on the note, then the bank is literally just looking at, well, what do we do with this piece of property? Do we sell the note cheap just to get rid of it? We can't collect on the back end. Do we foreclose? What do we do? And so a lot of what a bank is going to go through is very much dependent on what those financial statements say. So an example of a meeting that I had on the debtor side this week was our client was a good builder and can still be a good builder. His business model is solid. The business isn't over leveraged, but his big project is a train wreck. I mean, it really is. It's Pasco County. It's commercial. It's large commercial, looking for big tenants like Home Depot. I mean, it's done. They can't give it away right now. But he also has a free and clear piece of property that is in no way attached to the loans of this property. But the bank, as soon as we sat down there at the table, said, I think we can all agree that we're at least $1 million upside down, maybe more. What do you want to do with this free and clear property? We say, well, wait. What are we going to do with the property with the loan? Let's not talk about the free and clear property. And they said, let's talk about the free and clear property. You want to cross-collateralize it? What do you want to do? And so a lot of what a bank is going to do is look at who do they have. I mean, and you can literally boil down some of these highly complex deals to who do I have. Now your larger banks, your Chase, and that maybe were not that involved in, to the degree that community banks, regional banks were involved in lending on the commercial level. You said, I think you hit it right on the head. I mean, these banks deal in basically very simple terms. We're going to foreclose, we're going to sell it, or we're going to sell off the loan in a block to a hedge fund or a private equity firm or somebody else. So we're going to deal on a very high level. Your community banks are going to consider doing a workout. They're going to consider possibly foreclosing. In some properties where we say, well, there's really nothing to work out. I don't have any tenants. So if it means me just continuing to cash flow this out of my pocket, how long are you going to do that? And you heard some of that today. And so you have more and more borrowers making conscious business decisions as well. A lot of that, again, is just straight back to collectability. Is this person a bankruptcy? Are they a terrible bankruptcy? One of the really interesting factors that's going on is tax, and it's kind of the gorilla in the room that nobody talks about. So let's say we have a $5 million note. It gets purchased for $2 million, and the original borrower stays the title holder of the property. New bank, whoever it is, comes in and says, I'm going to restructure it, and we're going to make this cash flow. I'm going to take the $5 million, I'm going to make the principal balance 3, and I'm going to do whatever I want. It's my loan. I'm going to restructure it however. That was a $2 million relief of debt, which the IRS may argue that was just sheer income.
Yes, sir.
And so in what's called a 1099-C cancellation of debt. So the interesting thing about the negotiation with my client and this bank and this free and clear property is we said, okay, well, this works out, we give you this, and let's say that we call it even. If we short sell plus a free and clear property, and let's say I still owe you $750,000, but you're going to write it off. And the bank says, great, so we all agree. I say maybe, because first I have to ask the accountant or the tax attorney what $750,000 of income is going to do to my client. Because if it results in $200,000 of IRS liability, I'm going to bankrupt them. And then you can pick up this property and the free and clear with all the other creditors out of bankruptcy court. And so in the background of a lot of these deals, whether it's a short sale, whether it's a note write-down, even to a certain degree, there's arguments that modifications, the relief of interest, should be considered a relief of debt. So there's arguments right now that are fairly sensitive. So can you imagine if the IRS really pushes to say that the HAMP program is a giant relief of debt, and to what degree in HAMP your residential property was relieved of interest that you could have to pay income tax on that? I mean, I can't imagine the taxpayers would be jumping up and cheering that idea, but technically that's a valid argument.